конечно, там интересно смотреть.
Вот там сколько уток сидит. Там еще не стоят.
Кто-то едет.
Sì, por eso, pero que ir al certificado.
Постер?
Нет, нет, размер футболки, нет?
So I have the tender period.
Of the Friends of Guy Cantor for all the work and time they put into preparing this event.
Solo espero que, al igual que las Glorias nos visitan año tras año, ustedes tengan la necesidad de repetir esta experiencia y nos visiten en sucesivas ocasiones.
Just like the trains, I hope you'll come back year after year to visit us and to enjoy our wonderful natural area.
It is a great pleasure for me, as President of the Association Friends of Gallo Canta, to welcome you to the 8th European Conference of Grains. Species of grains. The European grain, Rus, the Restoran grain, Rus japonesis, the Sanskrit Anthropoides bibo, and the Siberian grains, Rus globroideranus.
Es el presidente del European Grain Working Group.
I have to take my paper on exclusive reason. Us in one of the most important resting sites of Europe. This site is known for decades, and we are happy to be here. Thank you. The European Grain Working Group was for grain numbers, inbreeding, resting and migration. This is a result of complex influences, what will be spoken about at this meeting. And it is a result of our work for protection of the species and its habitats in Europe. Thanks to all of you. Now and for goals for the future work. In half a year or in 1 year we have this big paper maybe there. Okay. Many thanks to the members of the Spanish organization team. You had a lot of work. I will speak about subspecies and migration of common grain, and I have 3 questions. The subspecies, now we speak about 4 subspecies. Maybe the future will show another picture, 3 maybe. And here the numbers of grains. In the west part of Europe, we have more than the half of the whole population. East part of Europe, Russia, Ukraine, 80,000. Then the Siberian grain. Here, the west part of Siberia, this number, and east part, this number. We see the density is going down from west to east, or opposite. And then we have this new one, Grus archibaldi. Not much is known about few grains, and Grus korolovi, the Tibetan grain, is analyzed in the last year with a white yellow eye. The next, made in Israel, but with a red eye. This is a distribution area of our crane, and we can see this part, which takes the western route. This is the western route, is half of the whole population. I would like to make this very correct map. We have the West European, the Hungarian, Estonian, the Russian, Ukrainian flyways. Single cranes are known, they changed the tour, came back here. Several cranes use 1 year this and the next year this migration, because here's the mixing. So, again, both routes. About we have the most information, 5-year steps here. We have this enormous increase on both routes, more on the western route. Where are they coming from? Migrating on the West European route from Scandinavia, 120,000, correct me, it is not, okay. Yeah. Central Europe, Poland, Germany, Kaliningrad area, maybe 100,000. We have 40,000 in Germany. Girls. Finland, Baltic countries, 50 to 60,000. Correct me, it's not right. Yeah, maybe Russia, Belarus, maybe further cranes. I wrote 30,000, but we need devices by ringed cranes. There's no ringing up to now. Wintering Iberian Peninsula, 200,000. Javier, you wrote me, or Juan Carlos, a few weeks ago. France, up to 120,000. Germany, up to 20,000 north and 3,000. I say Germany is a facultative wintering area. France and Spain, obligatory. There's a resting course in Germany in 2012. We have a monitoring every autumn with a lot of people, well organized, simultaneous dates gave the number of 300,000, 320,000 cranes migrating here. It is counted by the top of resting in Germany, plus the cranes in Spain and in France up to this date. Black is Sweden-Norway cranes, and white is the Finnish Estonian cranes. You see, okay, pardon. No, of Germany, or the north of the Western Flyway, are migrating the Scandinavian ones at most. In the middle and in the south, more cranes from east. And these cranes, these Swedish cranes, have a roundabout way along Finland and the Baltic countries. Resting at the largest sites in Germany, Rügen-Bock region, threefold increase, Rhine-Havel-Spensen, northern Berlin, fivefold increase this year, 130,000 cranes sleeping on 3 square kilometers flooded meadows. Because this year we had a stop of migration because of the mild October. Müritz-Kolpin Lakes, National Park. This is a national park. This is a national park. Here is organizing the sleeping places. In summer they are grazing cattle. In the autumn are standing cranes. Helme Reservoir is built in the 60s. you see an enormous increase. This point is outside of the breeding area. It is a stopover on the migration route, the same as in North France or in South France. Diepholz, the Moor is very interesting here. This is a region of northwest Germany, in Lower Saxony. There were a lot of moors. Peat cutting ended after unification, most of them. And now water is coming, and these are very good sleeping sites, surrounded by a healthy farmer's agriculture with a lot of maize cultivation. Changes in 3 decades. The spreading of breeding to west, north and south. The adaptation of breeding to habitats outside of the woods, fields, ponds and fields and meadows. Lower reproduction. Climatic changes, I told about, not necessarily to explain it again. Here you have the increase of breeding pairs by males and co-workers. It is an exponential. Very important thing for increase. You see here the Isle of Rügen for an example. In 1960 I worked there, nothing mice, then it came, and now it is the main food in autumn and partly in the spring too. Here is shown the migration from in the 80s left. You see the most came from north, 80% of all. And now in the 2000s, the relation is changing. Most are coming from here. And therefore in spring, a lot of Swedish cranes, which are taking this way in autumn, take this way, together with the Polish and Russian and Baltic countries, and then at the Oder River, they go north. Yes, and I spoke about the sleeping sites. We can say nearly 60% of all sites have not lower than 1,000 cranes. But 6% of all sites, and 6% of all sites. But only 10% of all sites have more than 5,000 and 70% of the cranes. It means the most of the cranes are stopping, resting in big sites. This is a place at flooded or remoistened moor. Now the Gülle. You see the breastbone of here you see the breastbone of the Moodsven with the carriers, small, and here dry as a crane. And now you have the running of the windpipe in the carinas. Here, John very good at the preparat. He made such a thing. What's in English? What is this? Trachea. Yes. You see, the trachea is going only 2 thirds in it. Loose. And here I made an X-ray for a crane, 8 years old, male. We know it exactly. And you see the trachea fills the whole hole. And therefore the question, are there differences between female and male? The different species have different runnings. But are there differences? Have a look at that, if you know the sex. You see it again, a cut with the holes of the windpipe, spongiosa, and there's an American group, Count and others, they made surgeries. They did short diaphragm. And their result is the differentiated harmonic chords of the trains are not to compare with the trumpet. Loud voices have all trains. Trains too, their windpipe doesn't go into the beast bone, the crown trains. They say, not a trumpet, but like a violin. By vibration here of the conductor. Next question. Is painting actively or passive? Discussions. You have a very good example. Is exact the same color as here in the ditch. We know we have a lot of observations that they took it actively and put it on the back. Why? It is said to be safe against stuff above. Eagles. I have another. I say it is against the parasites, endoparasites, ectoparasites, the stationary, ectoparasites. Here you have the eggs. Oh, excuse me. Here you have the eggs on the downside between the feather bones. Federlinge. I have not the word in English. Federlinge, they are living in the plumage every time. Go not outside and have to winter in it. Here you see. Here you have the same with overlight, and you can see the holes, and few eggs are without, and few eggs are with larvae to overcome the winter, come out in the next spring. And here you have a through light, the same gone out, is in, and here is a painting. The painting by hydroxy-oxy-iron. It cannot be cleaned by rain. It can only be cleaned by mulching. And here I have it, that is a breeding bird covered in the elder wood, breeding place. And this is a bird was incompletely molted. It's in October at the bog area. You see it sometimes. They are molted. The cover feathers were molted. Oh, this is summer. Yes, here in Estonia they wrote about this too. And this is October too. We see that 1, 2 feathers are not molted, the others are molted. In October. And the third question, are there differences between the tertials, here, these feathers, between different regions? Russian colleagues wrote, in the east they are gray, in the west they are black. I looked to it and found that we have both. Here a pair, gray, black, black, black. Here a pair, gray, black, 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 black. Here a group of summering trains, all are black. Here a family group at a gathering place. The adults, all the adults are black. Here, 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 here. And here a group in the March, late March, in the German inland, grey, they are from east, of the Baltic country or from Russia. And this is more black than grey, Swedish train, 20 years old.
24.
Huh?
24.
24 years old. The ring is bleached, and this bird had a young with it. They had a young with it. The last of my pictures, Hula Valley, all are grey, and here Argiza mixed because the population are mixing. Thank you. That was the presentation. More or less, it's very different. I cannot imagine that there are. The differences results from the habitat structure. Yeah, what color has the habitat? The Burka.
Here you see our breeding places, our known breeding places in our sleeping place, the roosting site, and in the surrounding they go to feed. And here you see the brown points. These are the sleeping places, and these are the area where the cranes come from to the gathering site. We have about 45 gathering places in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Breeding pairs. This is Vorpommern, the east, and then the coast. And in the beginning of September here, the cranes from South Sweden come to the coast and stay there for a longer time. And you see there are not, the number of the cranes are not so high, but here there are the big places. These into 16 regions. Here you see the regions Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. Here's the island of Rügen. This is the Baltic Sea. This is the coast. In this area, Günter Nowald has his crane information center. This is the area where Andreas Bolt lives, and this is the area where I live. This is inland, this is coast, and here from the east. Once more. So, in the Müritz region, cranes rest from the east, and at the coast, cranes are coming from north. Countries where the crane breed, we have an increasing development. Also in Germany, in the Baltic states, also in Scandinavia, and also in Poland. And this is one reason for the increasing development of the resting cranes in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. And the second reason is that we have a lot of new roosting sites. And so there is a wonderful roosting site. The cranes roost here, and in this area we have a good view from this. Here, the picture of the gathering cranes in this site. Or we get it. Göldenitzer Moor, it's a high moor or a rice moor. It's an aerial view. Here you see we cut horse. This is also an English word. The protection, the SPA. 30% of our land are under protection with the SPA. Conclusions: Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is of great importance for gathering 20,000 cranes and resting cranes.
The estimate of number of trains in summer compared to breeding trains is very difficult to do. Can you describe more about how you have made that estimate?
We do know good gathering cranes and resting cranes, but the summering cranes is a problem. They are not so stable, and they sleep here and there and so on. But we have also big places with 500 summering cranes. We know these places, but they are also very small places.
Concerning the population development and distribution development of breeding cranes. The largest crane population is situated within the federal state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. So I will visualize recent research results concerning population development for this federal state. All in all, I will mainly focus on this federal state. And finally, I will discuss 5 causes for positive population development. Now I come to the first point of my presentation. Area to stretch over the northern German lowlands and measured about 124,000 square kilometers. The mean habitat density in Germany averaged to 6 pairs per 100 square kilometers. Saxony-Anhalt and Saxony. Through means of conversation and other causes in these federal states, the population increased first slowly and then more rapidly. Boundary, there have been slight increases of population in the 80s. During this, to show you the development of crane habitat distribution from 1980 until 2010. Corresponding with the population increase and the rise of population density, especially within the federal states of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern and Brandenburg. For example, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern there was an increase from 0.8 pairs per 100 square kilometer in 1967 to 70 pairs per 100 square kilometers in 2013. Birds to the west and northwest. With a lapse of about 10 years, the stock in the federal states of Schleswig-Holstein and Lower Saxony increased to such a degree that former breeding grounds were occupied once again. Approximately 230 kilometers to the west and about 160 kilometers to the northwest. This movement had also taken place in the south and southwest of Brandenburg, Saxony-Anhalt and Saxony, but not as intense, about 80 kilometers. In the beginning, those boundary areas of habitat distribution recordings. Today, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern has been settled area-wide by the crane. That hasn't been the case all at per 100 square kilometers today. There is especially high concentration within an interior land. Making of larger grounds that also include resting and wintering cranes. During this period, the young learn a lot about behavior in their breeding territory, as well in areas of gathering, resting and wintering. Through this learning process and resulting experience, crane have become very flexible and adaptive in regards to activities of human and changes in the landscape. This becomes apparent, for example, in the fact that cranes is listed in the European Bird Conservation Directive, and so it's protected in the whole of Europe. It's not longer hunted, and although the bird still keeps a respectable distance to to disturbance sources has lost primary shyness of humans. In Mecklenburg-Vorpommern as well in some other federal states, protective zones have breeding habitats, such as in open fields with small wet areas, or in sedimentation zone of lakes. In the past 40 years, this had led to a change in the location of breeding territories, as well as an increase in the use of different types. In the 60s, in a research area in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, swamp is the main important habitat. Okay. Former fishing ponds, revetted bird swamp, and cattle holes are very famous. Now to the last point. Today cranes in Germany return earlier from the wintering location and begin breeding sooner than they did 40 years ago. At present, in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, most breeding territories are occupied by the end of February, and many pairs begin breeding, weather permitting, in March. During a period from 2003 to 2012,
35 years, and all along these 35 years, we can see a lot of changes concerning the migration. Everybody has noted the very spectacular increase of cranes. This concentration on some specific places, it's also the case in France, with a difficult cohabitation with the farmers, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, and some modification in the phenology also. And breeding is more recent, it begins in the late 90s, and we have now a small population which is growing year to year, and of course it's no comparison with the German population, but we are proud of this 20 pairs. It's very important for us. So I try to find explanation to these changes in France, in Europe, and this is of course something very important. And landscapes also have seen a very important transformation. When you want to make very large pieces of maize, you have to make very large open fields, and it's very good for cranes. The modification of landscape is, for instance, the creation of large wetlands. Lac du Lech on top, I will speak about after, is very important, and Wolfgang Mevers presented this morning the very important role of these new restorated places to welcome cranes. Of course, the protection, and of course the climate change.